Hey everyone, my name is Matthew Johnson, and if you've been here for a while, you'd already know that I'm the Upwork guy on Twitter, and I'd just like to thank you for joining me today. So I got a request recently from Brownson, who gave me permission to do a bit of an audit on his personal profile. He hasn't been seeing much success on Upwork, and he thinks that there's an issue with his profile, and gave me permission to pretty much go over everything and fix, quote unquote, right? So I'm just going to get straight into it. Thank you for giving me permission to do this as well, by the way, Brownson, and I hope what I'm about to tell you has value. And not just you, but for anyone watching and is struggling with seeing results on Upwork. So yeah, let's just quickly go over what we can already see here. So clear that there's no job success score. So there's no way of knowing whether Brownson is good at what he does or if he's had experience. So if you just look quickly here, we're not seeing any recent portfolio or work or anything. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and look at the profile description. So he says, great to meet you and welcome to his profile. He's an experienced freelancer who has 5 years of experience delivering excellent customer service and managing day-to-day operations. He is to help entrepreneurs elevate their businesses by offering amazing customer service and administrative support. So right off the bat, we can see that he's an experienced customer service, and he goes as far as to say virtual assistant expert in his title. So eager to learn new tasks, and he's also very dedicated to the job. Always ready to accept any task and submit them on time, can be trained, etc., etc. So I'm not sure how many of you have experience looking for a VA, but right off the bat, I'd tell you straight, I definitely wouldn't hire this person. This is Brownson, right? So it's not just because of the fact that he has no past proof or anything, but it's how he structures the profile description. So it's very needy when you read it out loud, right? He's like, oh, I'm very dedicated, eager to learn new tasks, can submit with quality, can be trained, blah, blah, blah. But everybody says the same thing, guys. You know, this is a dime a dozen type of thing. So you're a commodity at this point. And it's great because he has a bachelor's, so he's already more qualified than a lot of people. But the way he sells himself just seems very unprofessional. And this is just upon first glance, and it could be me personally, but I'm sure that many of you share the sentiment. So rather than just sitting here and shitting on it, let's go over how I'd fix it. So we'll start with the profile description, because this is the first thing that you see. This is the top of the page. As soon as you click onto his freelancer profile, this is the first thing that you see, right? And if it's not impactful enough, I should say, then the prospect will simply click off. It's the same reasoning as a short form video where the person has to grab your attention within 5, maybe even less seconds, or else they'll just quickly scroll. It's the same concept. So I'm going to show you how I'd fix this. Feel free to steal this as well. So just to go over, just to reiterate, so at a glance, you can already identify several issues with the profile's description and what serves as a deterrent to a prospect. So it has lack of clear specialization. It's almost like he went from one extreme to the other very quickly. So he goes, oh, he's an experienced customer service representative. He's been doing it for 5 years, but he's also a VA. No, right? So you use one for your customer service representative and recount those experiences that you do have, and you use the other one for virtual assistants in that case, but don't try to fit everything into one, right? People prefer to have a specialist rather than a jack of all trades, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is lack of confidence, because despite him saying that he has over 5 years of experience, you can clearly see that one, he wants them to choose him. He's begging almost, like, oh, pick me, I have these qualities, I'm very hardworking. No, they don't care about that. They honestly don't care about that. All they want to know is that you can do the job and do it well, right? And another indicator of this, and many of you probably haven't even realized, but setting your hourly rate so low is yet another thing. So I would always set mine to $15 an hour, because at the end of the day, you want to get them onto a call. There's only so much that you can actually communicate to someone via words. So always remember that. Don't set the bar too low for yourself. If $15 is the average, then you're putting yourself below the average. And as a result, you're setting yourself up for below average work. So always keep that in mind. Another one is irrelevant points. So this is just an addition to what I was saying before about all of these qualities that he's listing. Those are all irrelevant. They don't care about that. This is something that I think many people get twisted about Upwork. They're trying to get their first job on Upwork, and as a result, they're very needy. They want it so bad, especially if you're from a third world country. You like the prospect of earning in USD rather than your local currency, and you sell yourself to the prospect as some slave almost. Oh, I'm going to do this work for you. I'm going to be the perfect workhorse. And they don't care about that. All they want to know is that you can do the work for them. That's all they want to know. Don't put in all of this unnecessary fluff, right? So next up is zero proof of competence. So you go ahead and you talk about stuff like you have 5 years of experience or whatever it is. But in reality, there's no proof of it. Anybody can put in their description that they have this many years of experience, but at least if you don't have a portfolio on the platform, at least link your LinkedIn there so that they'd be able to verify your claim. I could go onto my platform and say I have 3 years of experience as a copywriter, but would that necessarily be the truth, or would you believe me just like that? Chances are you wouldn't. And that goes for anyone else, especially in a professional context. I'll talk about this a bit later, but if you have no results, no excuse to just, you can go out and get results. You may not be paid for it, but you need to understand how much higher the rate of you being hired for a job is when you actually have case studies or testimonials, past experiences, etc. But for now, let's focus on the profile description. So for the profile description, I use a framework called the HWRW, and this is something that I actually source or along with Levi Irola. So I'll pay homage to him in this video. So it's how it works, who it is for, results that you can and what to do next. So I have completely redone Brownson's profile description, and I'm just going to quickly read it and explain my thought process while using the HWRW framework. So hey, I'm Brownson. I help B2C companies 10 times their customer satisfaction rate using my customer service and tech support experience. Now, instantly, you realize that this is clear and concise. They know exactly what you do now and how you'd be able to help them. So this sounds like a certain person's pain point. So maybe they don't have an experienced customer service rate and they'd really like one, and it's actually hindering their retention rate for their SaaS, for example. Right? So this is a clear pain point that you're trying to solve. So how it works. So there's no outsourcing, black hat tactics, or cutting corners. All work will be performed by you. So many people, especially new freelancers or agencies, get on the Upwork, and as soon as they get a client, they just outsource it to someone for a low cost. And this is why there's a bit of a stigma behind agencies on Upwork. There are some jobs that will explicitly say that they're looking for freelancers. So this is pretty much making it abundantly clear that you're a one-man show. There's no strings attached, and they won't have to put you on payroll, hire you, train you, do all of that. And you'd find that a lot of people actually hate having to do this. So this is a big win for them. They're outsourcing everything to you. So I ensure your brand is properly represented so you'd never have to worry about a tarnished company name. So everybody wants their brand to be well represented. You want someone who cherishes it as much as you do, is basically what I'm saying there. So again, you're pretty much alluding to a pain point, and that's what you do. So I handle everything from technical issues to administrative support, day-to-day operations to quality control. All you have to do is provide a quality experience to your consumer, and we'll ensure your brand's digital track record matches your physical out. So this is done for you. This is another plus. So all they'd have to do is probably provide you with all the details of the company, and everything else would be handled by you. Once again, they wouldn't have to be doing any excessive training, or they wouldn't have to be running around in circles in order to achieve, what they've set out to do. So if you see absolutely no change in your customer service rating, you don't pay. And this is something that many people will struggle with when building an offer. And homage to you, Cold Email Wizard on Twitter. But you're so afraid that you won't provide a good service, or that you'll have to give up money, that you don't have a guarantee on it. And a guarantee actually makes huge difference when reaching out or when getting inbound leads. Because once again, there are no strings attached. If you don't perform well, then the client doesn't pay. This reduces barrier of entry for them, especially if you put it in writing. And if you're a person that's really trying to get your first job, then you shouldn't even be worrying about getting paid some excessive amount of money. You need to be worried about delivering a good service. And that's the end of it, full stop right there. So for those that are struggling to get their first job, I definitely make this abundantly clear that if you don't provide a good service, then the client shouldn't pay, right? So this model guarantees that there's 0% risk of the prospect losing money. So who is it for? Which is the another W here. If you're running a B2C company, I will save you a lot of time and money on hiring and training team members to ensure a brilliant, timely, and effective customer service experience for your consumer. So here you're just reiterating who it's for. You're making it clear that these are the people that you're targeting. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. So results that they can so a well-represented brand with a 5-star customer service rating that will reflect the tireless hours you put into making your business assets. And lastly, what to do next. And if you're savvy enough, you realize that this is the CTA. So if you think the service is promising and you'd like to learn more, then let's have a chat. I offer a 30-minute growth analysis call. You can call this whatever you want. It doesn't have to be growth analysis. I'm just using it as an example to everyone reading this. Let's discuss your problems and see how I can help you. Just send me a job invitation whenever you're ready. So this is specifically for inbound leads. So ones that will come up on your platform or your profile and then see this. Again, it's important that you have testimonials or you have past work or you just do the service for free. Is that remember, when you're doing jobs on Upwork, your rate is allocated, right? So even if, let's say, you don't provide an awesome service, you give them their money back, they'd still write you like a 4 or 5-star review. And that just further adds to your job success score and your visibility increase. So guys, if you know that you have no previous jobs on Upwork and you're trying to get your first one, money shouldn't be the top of your list of things to achieve. What you should really be trying to do is to build up your portfolio. And this is what I did early on when I just started. Everybody tells you to quickly take them off of the platform because Upwork takes a fee and blah, blah. But you have to think to the future, right? Don't think about just the present, because eventually that job success score will amalgamate and you'll be given the top rated. And that pretty much puts you at the top of the list when prospects are searching for someone in your competence. So that's going to increase the amount of inbound leads you get or invitations to interview in this particular instance wildly. So guys, when you're doing this, please try to use these frameworks and always keep in mind that in the beginning, all you're trying to do is to build a track record for you. The money will come. It's just a matter of patience. So once again, I'd like to thank Brownson for allowing me to do a review of his profile. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you'll start to see more success on your Upwork journey. Now, if you have any more questions, concerns, or if you just want me to do a bit of an audit on your profile description, then you can just connect with me on Twitter. I try to get back to messages as soon as I can, and I'll continue to be posting stuff about Upwork. So if you like what I do, follow me, retweet my stuff, and comment, ask me questions. Thanks again, guys, and take care.